Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to take a look at factoring. But before I look at that, I want to briefly review expanding with you. So remember, when you're expanding, right, we want to multiply everything inside the first brackets here by everything inside the second brackets. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to multiply, so in this case, x by x. X times x is just x squared. Next, I want to multiply x by 3. X times 3 is 3x. Next, we have 1 times x. 1 times x is just 1x, or just x. And then we have 1 times 3, which is just 3. And we can simplify this, right? Because you'll notice 3x plus 1x, right? 3x plus 1x is just 4x. So my answer here is x squared plus 4x plus 3. Next one, x minus 5 times x plus 2. Again, we're going to do the exact same idea here. So I'm going to start with x times x. X times x is x squared. Next, 2 times x. 2 times x is 2x. Next, negative 5 times x. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. And last, negative 5 times 2. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. And just like before, we can simplify this, right? Because we'll notice 2x minus 5x, well, 2x minus 5x is just negative 3x, right? Because 2 minus 5 is negative 3. So something we might notice when we're looking at this is, let's look at the numbers inside the brackets here. So in this case, we have 1 and 3. In this case, we have negative 5 and 2. So in each case, the numbers inside my brackets here, you'll notice they add, right? These two numbers add to give you the middle number. Same thing here, right? Negative 5 plus 2. Negative 5 plus 2 adds to give me the number in front of the x in the middle here. Something else you'll notice is my two numbers, like 1 and 3 here, they will multiply to give the number by itself at the end. Same thing here. The negative 5 and the positive 2, it multiplies to give me my negative 10 here. So essentially, my numbers inside the brackets, they multiply to give me the number at the end, and they add to give me the number in the middle here. Same thing here, right? These two numbers, they multiply to give me the number at the end here by itself, and add to give me the number in the middle in front of the x. So what that means is, if we want to factor a quadratic, right, figure out what we need to multiply by what to get this answer here. What we need to do is essentially we need to find two numbers that add to b, right, my number in front of x, and multiply to c, the number by itself here. Right, so whenever I have a quadratic equation in this form, x squared plus bx plus c, we need to find two numbers that add to b and multiply to c. So we're going to use that idea to help us factor some expressions. Figure out what we need to multiply by what to get these answers here. Okay, let's start with the first one. Again, we need to figure out what do we need to multiply by what to get x squared plus 5x plus 4. So what I like to do in these types of problems is I like to start with this number, the number by itself, 4. Remember, we need to think about what two numbers here multiply to give me 4 and add to give me the number in the middle here, 5. So I always like to start with what numbers multiply to give you 4. Well, let's think. 2 times 2 will work, right? 2 times 2 is 4. And also, 1 times 4 will work, right? Because 1 times 4 is 4. And now, we just need to check. We need to check to make sure, to check to see which one of these two numbers adds to my middle number. Right? Which one of these two numbers adds to 5 in the middle here? Well, let's see. 2 plus 2 is 4. This does not add to 5, so that doesn't work. 1 plus 4 is 5, so that works. And those are my two numbers, 1 and 4. Those are my two numbers that I'm going to put inside my brackets. Okay, so in my brackets, I'm going to have x plus 1 and x plus 4. And there's my answer. Let's keep going. Next one here. X squared plus 3x minus 18. Same idea. We need two numbers that multiply to give you negative 18 and add to give you positive 3. So I'm going to do the exact same idea. I'm going to think of what two numbers can I multiply to give negative 18. Well, first of all, negative 3 times 6 will work, right? Also, 9 times negative 2 will work as well. And also, negative 1 times 18. Right? All three of these options will work. Okay, let's start with the first one. We need to check to see which one of these add to give the middle number, 3. Well, the first one here, negative 1 plus 18. Negative 1 plus 18 does not add to 3. So this one does not work. Okay, my next one here. Negative 3 and 6. Negative 3 plus 6 is 3. It does add to my middle number here. So these are my two numbers that are going to go inside my brackets here. I'm going to have x minus 3 and x plus 6. Okay, let's do one more example here. So this last example, I have x squared minus 36. And I'm going to do the exact same idea as I did before. But you'll notice something is a little bit different here. In this case, I don't have an x term in the middle, right? I don't have an x term in the middle, right? I just have x squared minus 36. But really, essentially, what this means is, since I don't have any term in the middle, really, what I'm doing is I just have a 0x in the middle here, right? Because remember, 0x is the same thing as 0. So since there's nothing in the middle here, what I have essentially is just 0x in the middle. So I have x squared plus 0x minus 36. And now we know how to do this, right? We just have to think about what two numbers will multiply to give me negative 36 and add to give me 0. Well, let's see. First of all, Negative 1 times 36 gives me negative 36. Also, 6 times negative 6 also works. And also, 12 times negative 3 works as well. And 18 times negative 2 is another option. So again, we're just going to go through the list and check which one of these two numbers adds to 0, my middle number. Well, first, negative 1 plus 36 is 35. That's not 0. 6 minus 6 is equal to 0. This one works. So I can write my final answer as x plus 6 times x minus 6. And there we go. So in summary, when we're factoring quadratic expressions in this form, I need to find two numbers that multiply to my number by itself here and add to the number in front of x here, the number in the middle.